how did you choose your major? I mean, at least for me, I mean, obviously I haven't gone to college yet, so I haven't actually gotten to my major yet, but I'm hoping to study in psychology. And really, for at least for me, where that came from was ever for as long as I can remember, I've always been thinking about, the way the world works, and more specifically, just the way our culture and society works and functions, right? So I've always been interested in the psychology of behavior and moreover the psychology of the society as a whole. So I mean that I've just always been interested in that. But not Mabel, Ben, what'd you guys study and why'd you study it?
Yeah. This is kind of a hot take, but I was applying to colleges and I knew what I didn't want to do more than I knew what I wanted to do. Which was I feel like there's pros and cons to that. But I ended up picking a pretty broad major, which is business economics, at UCLA, which is also I'll add that we don't have an actual like business major. If we had like a business major, I feel like that'd probably be what I was doing. But to me, I think I just wanted a way to like I knew kind of I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew that I wanted to work like for a company, probably somewhere in tech. And so to me, it's also really important to get a minor. I really, really strongly suggest minors. One of my core beliefs is like get a practical major, get a fun minor, something that like you're interested in that might help you or might not help you. And I found that my minor is actually really helpful when like I had an internship this past summer, and like part of the reason I got it was like I was studying cognitive science as a minor, which is like psychology plus technical stuff, um, in a nutshell. So that was really helpful. But yeah, I think for me it was less like, oh, I didn't want to go into pre med, or like I knew I didn't want to like be an engineer, and then kind of going from that and looking at my options. And the other thing I'll say is people underestimate how easy it is to change your major. When you apply to college, like it is very easy to change your major, especially if you are in what's called like usually the letters are called College of Letters and Sciences. So like most majors that aren't, let's say, engineering, you can really easily change your major and like explore different things. And you have to take general education classes, and those GEs really can tell you like, oh, I really am interested in this. Let me take some more classes in this. And so I think to me, I was coming into college and it almost felt like I needed to know what I had, like what I wanted right off the bat. But it really is like college is a time to explore, especially your freshman year when you're mostly taking general education classes. Really, really helpful. And so it's nice to just come in with an idea, but you don't have to. In fact, like, I mean, I know just some fun facts about UCLA, but the most applied to major at UCLA is undeclared. And that's completely and totally fine. And that's like how a lot of people get into school and how they spend their time in freshman, sophomore year figuring it out. Sorry, that was kind of a long winded answer.
That's okay. Like, yeah, I know I have several friends who have no idea exactly what they want to study, so they're just headed to West Valley for 2 years and then are going to transfer after that. Um, so yeah, you don't need to know right away. And honestly, deciding what you want to do with your life is a lifelong goal in of it itself.
Yeah, I can speak to this, not a personal experience, but my dad went to 3, 4 different colleges, each for like a semester. And then when I was in elementary school, he got an associate's degree in graphic design, and now he's a graphic designer at Specialized Bikes. And we live in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and my mom also only has an associate's degree. And we live where we live, and we're doing pretty well for ourselves, I think. So it's just important to know that even if you think that you know what you're doing, you probably won't end up doing what you started college doing. Like, there's a good chance that you're going to either apply your major to something that you didn't think of at first, or you're just going to end up changing it. And that's totally okay. Like, when I was in middle school, I thought I wanted to go to med school. I was like, I'm going to med school. This is the only thing. That's what I'm going to do. And now I'm like, nope, I never want to have to take a chemistry class ever again in my life. And I don't want to spend the next 8 years of my life going to medical school. That's just not something that I'm interested in. I want to get a degree, get out there and start doing stuff. And if you do want to go to med school, props to you. Like, that's awesome. But definitely don't major in something just because you think it's going to get you somewhere. Major in something that you're interested in. So don't major for the job, major for the passion.
Yeah, and I'll try to make this short. If I were to tell you where, like, if I told myself now what I'm doing, if I told myself in high school what I'm doing now, I'd be like, get out of here. Like, there's no way. And there's so many different things that happen along my path where it's just like, all right, couldn't have done anything to plan for that. So I guess my advice in general, but especially for college right now, the best decision you possibly can make is the conclusion that you come to with what you have in front of you, right? Like, it's really, really tough to try to think about, okay, like if I want to plan all my classes freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, then what job I'm going to get. Dude, you're a freshman. Like, you're not going to have to think about that. The only thing that I think about is just try to make the best decision you can at the moment. And if you take a class and you realize you don't like it, that is incredibly valuable information, right? Like, you realize you didn't like it. Okay, change the task, right? Set up a quarter of classes, go through that quarter, which or semester. If you like some, pursue those more. If you don't like them, don't pursue them, right? Don't try to think of it as an entire thing. Just look at what you have in front of you now and just try to make the best decision you can. And that's all you really can do, right? Like, you can't plan your whole future. So just kind of focus it and looking at, the actual present and not try to foreshadow too much. But that's what I kind of think of it. Yeah, I guess like a personal anecdote. I applied to every school out of high school for psychology, got into none of them. And then somehow I got a nursing scholarship. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll go into nursing. Like, I only did it because my mom wanted me to be a doctor. I'm like, I'm not going to med school. So then went to nursing, and then went to community college, and then started working at a company. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I guess I'll go to engineering, and then went to engineering, right? So it's like, it changes all the time. So just try to make the best decision at the moment and then just go from there. Kind of just take it as it goes.